Welcome to the 20th episode of the mini video series, Fridays with Father. This weekend, our Serbian Orthodox Church commemorates the holy martyrs of Jasenovac. Who were they and what do we know about these holy martyrs? In April of 1941, following the Nazi invasion and the dissolution of the Kingdom of Yugoslavia, a pro-Nazi independent state of Croatia was established on the northwestern part of the kingdom. There were more than 2 million Serbs living in the newly created puppet state, making up 1/3 of the entire population. In addition, there was a number of Jews, Roma, and members of other national groups living in the same region. As soon as the independent state of Croatia was proclaimed, Ante Pavelić, the head of the state, began to carry out the Ustasha's program that aimed to create a purely Croatian area for living and a pure Croat nation. Since the Ustasha were extreme nationalists and racists, the condition for the creation of a purely Croatian state would be the extermination or expulsion of all non-Croats. For the purpose of carrying out such a task, various death camps were created through the newly established state. Camp Jasenovac was the largest and most notorious of all. Serbs constituted the majority of inmates, while some were offered to convert to Roman Catholicism in order to save lives. Most of the inmates had no other option and were taken there based on their ethnic and religious backgrounds. The conditions in Jasenovac were horrendous. Not only was it the largest concentration camp in Croatia, it was the third largest by the number of victims in all of occupied Europe during the war years. With their brutal and pathological crimes, the Ustasha outdid even their Nazi German masters. Upon witnessing the crimes at Jasenovac, even Nazi generals were shocked. General von Horstenau, Hitler's representative in Zagreb, wrote in his personal diary in 1942 that the Ustasha camps were the epitome of horror. Following his visit to Jasenovac in 1942, Arthur Hafner, a German officer who worked in Reich, wrote the following: "Regardless of the propaganda, this is one of the most horrible of camps, which can only be compared to Dante's Inferno." Unlike the German camps, where industrialized genocide was conducted, in Jasenovac that genocide was done in person, one by one, in a way never recorded in the history of humankind. Prisoners were murdered manually with use of blunt objects such as knives, hammers, and axes. From 1941 to 1945, hundreds of thousands of Serbs, Jews, and Roma were tortured and executed in the most violent ways. Estimates of the total number of men, women, and children killed range from 300,000 to 700,000. And yet, despite the scale of the crimes committed there, most of the world has never heard of Jasenovac. Menachem Shilach, a historian with the Yad Vashem, the Holocaust Museum in Jerusalem, wrote that the crimes committed in Jasenovac are among the most terrible in the entire history of humanity. Given the large number of Orthodox Serbs killed in Jasenovac, their only crime being their Orthodox faith, the Serbian Orthodox Church has always kept the memory of the victims. Despite the communist ideology, which tried to hide these horrendous crimes for the sake of quote-unquote brotherhood and unity, Camp Jasenovac could never be erased from the collective memory of the Serbian people. In fact, almost immediately the victims of Camp Jasenovac were recognized as martyrs for Christ. And what does it mean to be a martyr? It means to witness Christ regardless of the circumstances, even when it comes to the question of life and death. Serbs in Jasenovac certainly died because they did not want to give up their Orthodox faith. Again, that was their only crime. The Holy Assembly of Bishops of the Serbian Orthodox Church, at its regular assembly in 2010, numbered the martyrs of Jasenovac among the saints and dedicated August 31st or September 13th, according to the new calendar, to the Holy Martyrs of Jasenovac. To this day, the voices of hundreds of thousands of innocent victims of Jasenovac and all of the death camps in Croatia who were violently and most brutally executed are coming to us from the womb of the earth, asking us not to forget them. We as Christians must forgive, but we must always keep Jasenovac in our collective memory. To find out more about Camp Jasenovac, please click on the link in the description of this video, or feel free to do your own research. If you like this episode of Fridays with Father, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the notification button so that you can stay up to date with new videos coming out every week. God bless you, and thank you for watching.